got
Dude, yeah, it's so crazy.
I have currently like look at that.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Making notes.
Hey, and look, but first of all, 3 minutes late. Come on, this is. I mean, what? What are we doing? We're in a good place.
What are we doing? That's a great question. Welcome to Sony After Hours support, but during the day, so that's why we call it extra. So extra sauce, as we like to call it. So thank you for being here, everybody. My name is Derek. With me is the incredible.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Larry. What's up?
There he is. He got it. He remembered. All right. So if you are new here, first of all, thank you for being here. We will get to the questions in just a moment, but the idea of what we're doing here is to be kind of a listening sort of session and sharing discussion of anything you have going on in the world of Sony, questions, comments, anything we can do to offer some support if we can. Otherwise, we will obviously share some of the, well, I guess it's not so obvious. It's obvious to us, but to everybody out there, we will share any of the feedback and the questions that maybe we don't have answers to with the business groups that are in charge of those particular categories and try to get you answers as best as we can. So,
yes.
That said, there was a comment on I think it was the last one, I believe, that gave us some good insight. So I will take it to heart. And their recommendation was try to answer the questions faster, which totally understand that, because there are going to be some people here that are here to like, I got a question, I need support. We'll get to that, but we'll do our best to do that. But obviously sometimes there's some stuff that comes up with discussion. So if we don't answer right away, please, we'll try to get to you. If we do not answer your question at any point, there is an email pinned in there, so you can send us an email, or you are also welcome to share a comment after the video is live, or if you're watching this, post live as well. That said, let's get going. All right. So first question is a new one from the Hound. Welcome. I have only one question. Basically, has Sony fixed A95L Dolby Vision dark mode? I'm planning to buy it, but have to be sure it's supposed to be top premium class TV. So great question. Unfortunately, because that did come in before, so Larry and I talked a little bit about it ahead of time. Now, I have seen through searching that there have been some people that have mentioned, hey, I'm seeing this issue. I have not heard Sony like officially say, oh, this is a problem we need to fix. However, I know there have been updates that have come out that are constantly improving the picture quality. I can try to find out if anything specifically was addressed regarding this, because it's not been explicitly stated. I don't know if I'll get an answer on that specifically. I can say, being a person who does watch their A95L in Dolby Vision dark mode pretty much every night, I personally have not had an issue. So I don't think it is a widespread thing, but I don't know all of the details on that. So I have full faith that it is a top premium TV, and I absolutely love mine in every way. But I understand that when you see somebody question something online, you might be like, hey, wait a minute. That's not supposed to happen. So I know it doesn't really answer your question, but I can tell you it is a beautiful TV from personal experience. Obviously, there's a lot of reviews, but sometimes I did see at least one or two comments of what you're mentioning there. So, sorry I don't have a better answer. I wish I did. But if you have any other details, feel free to send us an email if you want more information. Anything we can share, we will try to do that.
Please do. Hopefully, Derek, we've earned, and we meaning Sony in large, have earned a little bit of trust in that if there's an issue that's identified, like Dolby and specifically around the A95L, that our engineers will work tirelessly to get a solution with the several updates that have followed or have hit the A95L recently. So hopefully you can feel comfortable in there. I do, on that note, real quick, Derek, I know that on February 24th, A95L got its most recent firmware update. That's carry the one 19 days ago or so, right? Less. Yeah. It's just 28 days. Anyway, I'm not sure what that addressed. I know, it's improves overall picture performance. I'm just curious, these reports, and I know you started doing some preliminary research, how far back are some of those comments and things of that nature? Like how recent are they?
That's a good question, because the one that the last one I saw that I remember the time, it was a year ago. So there's been a couple
even before our A95. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's fair. Cool. All right.
All right. There was a question about where your question is. I don't know. So feel free to ask your question again. Okay. So let's give a couple shout outs. See some fairly familiar names here. We've got Will Tech, welcome back. Andrew and Joey B, Michael Beckerman, Heaven, Aaliyah, and Robert Conrad as well. Welcome, as well as the Hound. And I don't know how to say Nerajus. I don't know. Sorry if I butchered the name. I apologize. Welcome, everybody. Let's see. So Will always coming in with the difficult questions, the challenging ones. Can you comment on dates of upcoming announcements, press gatherings? Lots of rumors. From what says he has shocking details he will reveal tomorrow. Well, you might have to wait and see what he has to share tomorrow. So that's all that I can say. And wait and see. And obviously, too, just to throw this out there, you have the Sony Electronics channel. You obviously have the Sony support channel, Sony Connect, which is where we are now. You can subscribe there. And then if anything pops up, we'll have some interesting things to share as well. So make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on. All right. Let's see some of these questions, and we can go back to some of the chatty things in between. Let's see. Robert Conrad. Hello. I just purchased 77 A95L. Congratulations. Dolby Vision will not be recognized on Macs and does have the premium plan. Will Tech followed up with that. I just checked internal Macs app. Dolby Vision works for me. Try uninstalling the Macs app and reinstalling it, or check for an app update, and always try a TV restart. Hold down the remote and power. That's a great answer. I mean,
see you later. Will Tech has got my place. I'll see you guys.
I think this is part of his plan, that he's like, hey, let's go live, So, but yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, I actually don't have Macs at the moment, but it had worked for me in the past when I did have it. So that is some good advice there from Will Tech to try to do that stuff. But let us know if it doesn't work. Feel free to follow up with us as well. Oh, he did say. Okay, already done that. Sony says Max claims the Sony issue. Interesting. So
I have a request.
Also did on Bravia 8 as well. Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Mr. Conrad, if you don't mind, can you go to your on both the TVs? Can you go to your systems menu, scroll down to the bottom where it has your build number, your firmware number, and all of that? Can you email us that? Even a serial number could be helpful. I want to see if we can quickly kind of get to the bottom of this situation. Not because you scared us with the whole return for another product thing, but since you're having this with two TVs, and now you have the streaming platform saying that it's a Sony thing, not a them thing, we have the ability to kind of research the handshake between the app and the TV, which it provides those identifiers to let that app know that the TV does support Dolby Vision, for example. So send us that information. System menu, about TV, scroll to the bottom, and it'll have like build number, software number, and all that information. If you can send that to us, we'll get on that immediately.
That's a good call. And I will add as well that those of you who are new here, the Hound, and you're new here, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. I apologize, I don't have a great answer for that, but that is one of those things that it's good for us, because we do share these questions with the business unit. We've got a very consistent chat, and we're actually going to be out there. Well, I don't know if we're going to see him because we're over the weekend. We'll probably see him early in the week. Anyway, next week. Anyway, all that to say, any details that you have with an issue, especially in the case of Robert, if you are able to share specifics, and especially like, oh, try this movie as well. If you can share information with us, the build, send it to the email. You don't have to post it anywhere publicly. What your build is and the settings, all that stuff, and then we can share that so we can try to see what might be off. Try to do some testing. The more specific we can test, the better we can get some results or clarity as to what is actually happening. But that is always helpful to us as well.
Yep.
I'm doing research on the next question I want to take a look at here.
I wonder if we're looking at the same question. That's fine.
Probably the one from June.
I'm gonna say yes.
I know it's a camera question, so I don't know if you were.
Yes. No, I wasn't. No, that's the one. Go ahead. That was the one. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it now as well. So just looking at least for the US, looks like the last update was from 12/1/21. So where did that go? From the Alpha 9.2 Mark II. I would have a lot of faith in that if it hasn't changed in that amount of time. Now, something that would be an issue, not to say things like that can't happen, but they're very, very responsive to any sort of concerns prior to it being stayed out there. So I would have full confidence in it. I don't know, like the information that maybe you've seen, you may want to check and see how old that information is of people having issues. If they are still having issues, I have nothing to say that there is any sort of concern here based on what I'm seeing. That's not a great answer either. I feel like I wish I had more information to share on some of these so far.
No, but I think you, but honestly, Derek, I think you nailed it. In June, here's the two things I can recommend. Make sure your product is registered. That's the first thing. And Derek is right. In the camera community, when there is I'll call it a rogue firmware update that doesn't act as intended, man, the imaging community is so vocal that we quickly come with some sort of an update to that update to resolve any issues or whatever the case may be. And to Derek's point, since there hasn't been a follow-up firmware update on that since then, seems as though that's a safe update to execute. But registering your product definitely will have you in a good place that should something go awry, you can go ahead and get some support there.
Yeah, no, that's a really good call. Because actually, one thing I do want to mention too, that, and I know there's a lot of people that are in here that clearly are involved in forums, getting information, and I know there's some people that are out supporting the Sony forum as well, community forum as well. So thank you guys for being here too. We've been recently talking about like registering products, and I know that a lot of people don't do it because it's like it's boring. Who needs to do that? I was like, you know what? I'm going to register a lens that I just bought because I figured, you know what? I probably should. And one thing that there's actually a lot of benefits to doing it. And the number one thing that I think is great, because I am terrible with my receipts and all that stuff. I have had a lot of emails from people coming in saying, hey, I have an issue with this. I tried to contact support, but they can't help me because I have no proof of purchase. That could be a problem, which understandably, companies would require some sort of proof of purchase in order to facilitate some sort of warranty coverage or services based on the situation. Right. So it's a really good way to kind of have it already logged in there. So that way, if you contact support, you don't have to have the serial number ready. You don't have to have the data purchase ready. It's already there. So that way you just go through the process and they can kind of expedite the service or support whatever they need to do. So just kind of a pro tip. It sounds dumb. It sounds boring, but if it's going to save you time and some hassle, consider it. Just to add that in there.
I like it.
Let's see. So June, I guess to kind of wrap that up, I have confidence in that current one, but if you do have any other concerns or if you'd like to share with us some of the stuff that you have seen, feel free to send us an email and we can kind of take a look and maybe add some more details or information to boost your confidence in it. Because I understand that if you don't want it to mess things up. Totally understand that. Yeah. Let's see. Ronan's in the house. Welcome. And Seiko as well. Welcome. All right. Joey B. Oh, I should mute my teams here. I don't know if people can hear that. Let me do that.
Yeah. That sound gives me all kind of whatever.
I know. And then I see the name. I'm like, oh, man, I got to check that. But nope. We're here for you.
Yeah. There you go.
Do not disturb. There we go. Okay. Let's see. There was Joey B made a comment here. Larry, maybe Derek, just maybe me, about to pull the trigger on getting the MDR M1. Have your ears listened to the MDR V6 before? I'm curious if the M1 tuning is similar. I absolutely loved the V6. I know I have not. I can say that, sadly, disappointingly.
I have. Is that not crazy? Do you know what this? Yeah, and I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself because I can't remember the name. John, please help me out, of the studio in New York. Anyway, I think the MDR M1 is a step up from the V6. I'm hesitant to say that. I am. V6 is a legendary set of headphones, right? I think it is a step up. I think the tuning that went into this from this very popular studio in New York. Anyway, the sound engineers there aided in the tuning of these headphones. So what you're looking at is, a tuning algorithm from many, many years ago versus where we are right now with the M1s. I know, just in addition to sound quality, there's also the restructure of the ergonomics of it, the comfort, the materials. Everything about the M1 was supposed to represent this massive improvement in our studio headphones or our monitoring headphones from those that have been used in the past. I got a buddy of mine who's a fairly well-known DJ who's going to be finally putting down his V6s to use the M1s. So that's, anyway, I don't know if that's some kind of a anonymous ringing endorsement, but there it is.
There you go. But you know what? I'll have to say that if, and I know most of the people out here watching us will probably think the same thing, like, you know what? You want me to give you some feedback? Send it to me and I'll give you some feedback. So I would love to have a chance to check it out and give you that feedback. Oh,
yeah,
that would be great. I would love that. All right, cool. So let's see. Ronan had a weird issue with the Bravia 9. Was live tab disappeared. Did a factory reset and he's good. Interesting as he used the live tab a lot combined with YouTube TV. That is very interesting. I don't know why that would happen.
I can create a scenario where I can create a scenario where it would happen. Not to say that this is you, Ronan. Not to say that this is you. But if you're someone who utilizes a IP application on your device for whatever reason, and you have your VPN, I'm sorry, VPN. Yeah, it is. Thank you. There you go. I almost said anyway, John's in my ear confirming what I'm saying. But if by chance you use VPN on your TV for whatever reason, and the VPN switches to a country such as Canada, for example, that's still in North America, but I don't think Canada has the live tab. I'm trying to remember because there's certain.
Yeah, it's US only. It's pretty limited.
So Canada doesn't get the live tab. So if there's by chance that your VPN has flipped to another country and the IP is sending that nation's address to the Google TV platform, that is why your live tab may have disappeared, and restarting your TV may have reset the VPN. I don't know. I'm just theorizing here.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, actually. So I appreciate that. That's a good call. That may have been the case. Hopefully that's all it was.
Rhoda said, not him. He pays for his content. Look, hey, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to judge, right?
That's awesome. Just real quick, and I'll jump up to this other thing I saw. June is asking what the email is. It should be pinned in the comments. It is afterhoursupport@sony.com. So you should see it pinned in the comments. Apparently it's on the screen. I can't see the screen. So hopefully that helps. But yes, if you are, Larry might be pointing at it or way off. I don't know. But yeah, if you have concerns and I don't want you to spend all this time researching unless you want to. But if you have something to share of what you've seen that causes these concerns, then we can kind of make sure that we can assuage any of those concerns and make sure you're good to go. All right. What else I see? Let's see. Heaven has a question. I'm going to need a little bit of clarity on it, though, as well. I was looking at the Bravia 3. Is it as good as the Bravia 7, 8, and 9? Please let me know. It depends on really what you're comparing, because if you're talking about some of the like Google functionality, going to be extremely comparable. However, if you're talking about picture quality and some of the other features, there is going to be quite a bit of variety across all of those different models. So if there's something specific you're looking for, feel free to throw it in the chat there, and we can kind of give you some maybe some more specific feedback on your question.
Yep.
Let's see. What did you see? What are you laughing about?
This is why people get mad at the show, because I start going off on these dumb tangents or whatever. But it doesn't matter how you and I don't see each other all day. We always end up wearing sort of the same. Dude, I have on a blue shirt. You have a blue shirt. We always end up wearing something the same. And I just noticed anyway. Because I was proud that I didn't wear black, but
I thought I would change it up this time too. Anyway, there you go. Okay,
I'm gonna save that for later. My bad.
Let's see. Robert's still offering some concerns there, and same for you, Robert, too. If you see some stuff in the forums, like if you can send a link or a snip or something to us, we can share that with the team too, so they can kind of find out exactly, how many people are saying this, what are the situations that they have this issue in, and then is it actually an issue or is it something else? So the more information, the better. That would be great. Let's see. John, welcome to the show. My Sony can't read. Android TV does not enter welcome screen after trying to reset to factory. It has now entered the boot loop problem. There's a new mainboard required here. Software taken down from Sony's site. I'm guessing that is an older model based on what you said there. It's hard for us to sort of say what's going on based on that, because that sort of stuff usually gets escalated to the service team. I would recommend contacting the support team. They can give you some specific things to try. To be honest, it does seem what do you have to say? Yes, Larry, go ahead.
No, you finish your thought.
Well, now I'm all distracted. What was I going to say?
I know.
What was I going to say? I was just going to say, sorry, I am going to finish my thought because I actually didn't remember it. That it is very possible that after a certain amount of time, there won't be any more firmware updates available for certain products after they've kind of exceeded, where software demands exceed what the hardware capability is. So sometimes you may see that happen. But contact support, that might give you the best feedback to what to do next. Larry, what you got? What do you got to add?
Or if you want to live life dangerously, okay.
I mean, I don't know, because it depends. Where are you going with this?
I'm gonna have John. If John can put these steps in there real quick, bear with me. Well, hold on here. Somebody type this out for me, please, because I've got all kind of keyboard issues right now, per usual. Try this also. Physically unplug the TV. Okay. Find your power and volume button, the physical buttons on the television, not the remote, actually on the TV. Hold down the power and volume down button while the TV is unplugged, while continuing to hold those buttons. Plug the TV back in and don't release the buttons until you see the green light on the LED start to show. It could take anywhere from 10, 30 to a minute. Okay. That is a motherboard reset. That is the hardest of all hard resets. Okay. And since you're already trying to do a factory data reset, clearly deleting all the apps and that's not an issue. What that'll do is that is the recommended thing to do to try to take it out of that boot loop sequence. So try that. If that doesn't resolve the situation, shoot us an email. We can see how we can help you out. Sorry.
There you go. Larry has surpassed me in all things today. So there you go.
No, I have a lot of Android TVs in the house with some older issue hiccup thingies.
Gotcha. All right, let's see. Okay, got that. We got that. Let's see. Hey, heard on the internet about Sony new TV, new Bravia ES1000 Ultimate. Any info? The internet never lies. Yeah, your best bet. Because I know there's a lot of stuff that is floating around about this leak and that leak and this whatever. I hate to say it because I know it's hard to do, is to just wait and see what Sony actually will be announcing. So that's going to be your best bet to make sure that you get the correct information. Just a pro tip there, I guess.
Yeah, and then come back and see us after whatever happens, and confirm the information that you heard someone else talk about. Because after every launch, every year, there's this group of misinformation that floats out there that seems to take on a life of its own. That then, Derek, you and I spend the next several weeks, damage control, cleanup, whatever it is, we end up trying to make sure that people fully understand the direction. Like last year was Sony's not making OLEDs anymore, before we launched TVs, which was crazy. So anyway.
Yeah. It is always interesting. And I will add this, though it may seem that we don't want to talk about this stuff, we do. We really do. we are excited to talk about a lot of things, but I don't know anything yet. We know nothing. There are certain things that we just cannot share, but just be excited that things are happening in general with Sony. That's all I'm going to say. Right. So that said, let's see. I just saw the one I wanted to talk about next. Oh yeah, having to kind of add a little bit more context to the question. Features like Google capability, processing ability. So Larry, do you want to take that when comparing kind of a very
Bravia 3 to yeah. So I do like that question. I like the question because I think sometimes in the world of our discussions, we have a tendency to not talk so much about the Bravia 3 because a lot of the attention is always on the upper end or the higher end of our scale. Let me state the obvious first. You can't compare a Bravia 3 to a Bravia 9. All right. And I think that's pretty obvious because as we move up our line, we start to focus more on better picture quality, better motion handling, better color, so on and so forth. Right. But looking at essentials and performance and just the basis of what Sony is all about, picture processing, the processor that's in the Bravia 3, it is the X1 4K HDR processor. Not to take shots at the competition. Maybe. But that processor has been doing things like dual database processing, recognizing images and taking them and ensuring that a feather looks like a feather, a person looks like a person. All of that we've done in the past and focusing heavy on upscaling, that processor led the way and still shares many of the formulas or algorithms that we do with regards to upscaling. So looking at your everyday 720p, 1080i, 1080p content, the Bravia 3 is going to do a magnificent job of delivering that near 4K picture quality for content that's not natively 4K. Now, of course, it can all be done better, but it's the hardware side of it that makes it different. Derek and I were talking yesterday, and I feel like I'm going on a tangent, but anyway, Derek and I were talking yesterday about why do we find the community at large, and even sometimes us internally, why do we ignore or not give enough credit to a TV like the Bravia 3? And it's usually because we have a tendency to focus all of our discussions around the primary viewing television. In many cases, it's your living room TV. But I told Derek, I said, I look around the house and I think about what I have in some of the other rooms in my house. Dude, a Bravia 3 would be a major upgrade from some of my previous TVs that I've owned that once were flagship TVs that have that same processor in there, but the Bravia 3 has newer parts, pieces, and components. So saying all that to say that the Bravia 3 can't be a Bravia 7 or a Bravia 9 because it's not a mini LED. Can't be an X90L because it's not full array with local dimming. But what it isn't is not an edgelit TV that you would normally find in that price point where other manufacturers have their 2 or sometimes 1 row of LEDs and like, all right, take the picture, you'll love it, right? Whereas the Bravia 3 is a direct LED panel, so you'll get that vibrant, bright color you're looking for at that price point. So that's sort of my ringing endorsement of the Bravia 3, which I love that TV for what it is and where it sits in our lineup.
Yeah, I would say, as was mentioned, CJ made a comment here, and I want to make a comment about something that CJ said, as well as Will, is that the Bravia 3 is entry level. I want to say something about that. We don't like that term, mainly because if you were to compare some of the brands that are, I would consider more entry level, they're even more stripped down. That would be more of your entry level TV as a whole. It's Sony's foundation model. It is where we start. Sony does have a little bit more, I guess, requirement to what we want to do in each of those different levels in terms of picture quality. So there are a little bit, I don't want to say higher standards, because I'm not trying to say that they don't care about that. They do, but there's a different way that Sony cares about that. So I don't like calling it entry level. I understand why, but we prefer more of a foundation because there are things I think it surpasses in terms of even some of the tech. Yeah. But to kind of go to CJ's comment here about the PQ being vastly different in the 789, that really is where it goes into. You get better processing with the XR processor, as well as different forms of backlight control. As Larry mentioned, full array local dimming, mini LED, OLED, and then you also add in mini LED with the IC chip, integrated circuit chip. So that's a totally different thing in the Bravia 9. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a very different experience. But to Larry's point, it kind of depends on your purposes. As Ronan mentioned, he's like, yeah, I've got a Bravia 3 in my bedroom. Like, yeah, it's that's. I think you're right, Larry. That so many people do focus, and I get it because I am one of those people. It's like, man, when you talk about getting a new TV, which one are you talking about? The TV, the one that needs to be amazing. But realistically, like I have an older TV in my living room. I don't watch content in there. I watch downstairs. So realistically, Bravia 3 would be great. My daughter doesn't care. My wife doesn't care. She watches YouTube and falls asleep, or just watches old cooking shows or, animation stuff and doesn't need all the amazingness that the other models offer. So it really depends on what's most important to you.
Right.
I think this might be a good opportunity. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'd love a Bravia 9 in every room of the house. That's not going to happen in this household. So
not going to happen in a lot of households, to be realistic.
I mean, it's not happening.
That would be great. Tomatoes. I'm going to read it as tomatoes, foundation level, entry level. Nope, they're different. I'm just saying, sticking with my guns here.
Tomatoes. So that's like tomatoes, right? Yeah, tomatoes, right? Yeah.
Tomatoes, potatoes. Yeah, I know what he meant, but I read it as tomatoes, so it kind of made it more entertaining for me.
Will, special guest next week? Yeah. Well, I know Will's asking, will we have special guests next week? We're working on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did we had that discussion because they're traveling, right? The people that I think would make sense to have.
Everyone's traveling this week.
And, right.
And we mean when we say everyone, we mean everyone in every category before people start trying to draw conclusions and read.
Well, they travel all the time.
Almost every category is out of the office right now. So we would like to, so we'll have to kind of wait and see, get a confirmation. But I have a feeling there will be some questions that people will want to ask, of course, of these smarter minds than us that, Yes.
I know, Will Tech, you have questions. So we're going to try to get these people on here so you can go right to the source.
Derek will email you, Will, as soon as we get confirmation.
I don't think we've emailed.
Well,
I don't believe so.
I feel like you haven't emailed with Will.
I don't think so. He does all this research and then poses these difficult questions. Then I'm just like, oh no, how do I?
You know what? Yeah.
Good answer.
Don't email Will. Don't, because then we may lose you here. Don't.
That's true. It's good to have the questions here. Good to have the questions here. Let's see. Andrew made a comment here. I have an Xperia 5 Mark II. Had it since it came out, and it's been really good. I'm now looking for a new phone. I really love the long aspect ratio of the 5.2. Will we ever get that again? I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen with Xperia. I know you're pretty passionate about it, Larry. What do you think?
I love 21x9 also, and it's so funny. 21x9 came out, and then you had this vocal group that was like, "That's such a weird. It's so tall," and you had all this feedback. And I'm not even, because the Xperia 1 Mark 6 it wasn't released in the US, so I don't even remember what the aspect ratio or what I don't even know what that phone has.
I'm
I
pretty
know
sure
the
it's
1 Mark.
21x9.
You think, because I know there were rumors that it was going to change. There was discussions about changing that aspect ratio. Oh, my current phone? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Slow focus. No, sorry. Here.
See?
Here.
There we go.
Oh, Derek has it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it is a lot longer, taller, if you will, than most of the other ones.
Wish I had a phone
but
that have it next
there
to
was a reason for that, though, too. For those of you who are unsure, is that, you know, they actually can film movies in 21x9, more of like the CinemaScope. Is that the right term for that? Where it's actually wider than 16x9, which is what is widescreen. So you're actually able to get that more accurate picture without the black bars on the bottom, depending on what you're watching, if it's in the aspect ratio. So it's pretty cool.
I told you, Derek. Cool. I was right.
About what?
Xperia 1 Mark 6 went to a 19.5:9 aspect ratio.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I don't know
because that makes more sense than 21x9. So I knew they were starting to change stuff. Sorry, I knew that there was a
yeah. We didn't have it in North America, so we never got any of the training information on it. So
yeah,
my bad.
And
anyway.
Not to take shots at that phone, we don't have to keep going. But it's 23. It's 1080 by 2340. Is it 2520?
So it's he just put it in there, or they just put it in there. Yeah, wider phone. Interesting.
Yeah. There you go. Crazy, right? Okay.
I gotta make a comment here. Bram. I apologize if I said that wrong. I very much appreciate your patience. I still have not received feedback on this, and we will be at the office next week. I will try to find somebody to have the conversation, but I really appreciate the back and forth email, the updates, and the stuff that you're kind of sharing that you have found out and what you've been told. But yeah, I have not, and I do apologize. And again, a lot of people are gone right now, so I'm sure that's part of the delays, but I remember your name very well. So I will make sure that as soon as I have some information, I will absolutely share it with you. But I just wish I could replicate the issue on mine. I'm unable to. So I think it is more of a unit situation, which is why I recommended the support. So it seems like you're on the right path there. But either way, I'll still make sure. I know they've gotten the emails and the comments and things that you've shared, but I haven't heard back about what's happening behind the scenes. So if I can share, I don't really know. Sometimes there's things that they're working on, escalating, whatever, and sometimes they can't share that information, but I will remember. All right. John says, do you guys still stay in contact with Rob Brennan? I haven't talked to him actually since, but I know you have.
I've spoken to him. Yes, I have. That's my buddy from a long, long time. So yeah, I will definitely always stay in contact with him. It's a good dude right there.
Yeah. I kind of miss, I remember some of the initial trainings that he did, because I didn't really talk to him much in the time, because there was you and the training team were like the bridge in between. So I wasn't cool enough to talk to him until just a little bit. But yeah, I love his perspectives. He is a good dude for sure, 100%.
Man, yeah. Rob goes. Anyway, can I ask you a quick question? It's a 5-minute call, real quick. Then an hour and a half later, you're still talking about other stuff. I knew Calls
I
with
can't
Rob, it
imagine
always
a
leaves.
5-minute call turning into an hour and a half call with you. That's impossible. Totally not possible. Anyway, where were we? Let's see.
I'm sure I caught that straight.
Made a comment.
Okay.
I really wanted the Bravia 8, but the way my account is set up, I don't have that kind of money right now. You guys make the best TV, so the Bravia 3 will be good for me. Yeah, I totally get it. Bravia 8 is a beautiful TV too, especially going that OLED route. Bravia 3 is still a fantastic TV as well. So yeah, there's some, I don't know. I know that's a big jump, but there is still even the X90L. Just a thought, something to consider too. I know it's not considered part of the Bravia line, but when it is still an absolutely relevant TV, it is full array local dimming. So it does have quite a few advantages in picture quality over the Bravia 3. So just a thought. But this is what I was going to plug earlier before Larry ruined my thought, and that's okay. I forgive you. Heaven, I would recommend considering the one-on-one consultation. We do have that, and this is for everybody on the call too, that if you are trying to decide what is going to be the best solution for what you need, and that could be anywhere from getting the right lens for your camera, getting the right audio system, getting a new TV, whatever the case is, you can make a 30-minute reservation to talk to a Sony expert, and they can ask you questions. Having a good back and forth conversation is a lot easier than doing it this way, unfortunately. But you kind of explain what you're looking for, how you want to use it, what sort of situation you're in, and they can make a better recommendation based on your specific needs. Because I don't really know what the situation is to say, well, I don't know if I'd recommend the 3. You may want to save up and, to get the best solution for what you're looking for. I don't have that information to do that. So just a thought.
Yep.
Consultation link is in the description, as I was just informed, which I should have known that. John's on top of that.
Derek, yes, can we do something we've never done before that I'm not even sure if we are able to do it? Can we still do it?
What could go wrong with that statement? Sure, let's do it. John, ready the color bars. Ready to disconnect.
First of all, you all know that obviously you guys are hanging out with us, and everyone that's going to join or watch later, this is all over the world. So what I'm getting ready to say right now is for North America or US. I'm going to say the US only. We never talk about prices ever. So again, I'm not sure if we're supposed to do this or not, but this is something I want us to do every time we can until we get caught in trouble, is give you all a preview on price drops that are getting ready to happen before they happen. John, this is a did you know? This is a did you know?
Well, they're not going to know because I think
there it is. Okay, so here we go.
You didn't know is what it should be called.
So here's what you didn't know. All right. We've talked, and it's Heaven's comments that kind of made me think about that. We were talking about OLEDs, and she wanted the Bravia 8, so on and so forth. Anyway, long story short, there's this OLED called the A95L. I'm sure many of you all are familiar with this OLED. It's very similar to the A80L. Mm-hmm. It is getting ready to be, I think, I'm just, please, it's my fault if I'm wrong when I say this. I think this OLED is getting ready to be the lowest price OLED we have ever offered. This includes Black Friday pricing and any other special promotional time period. So the A75L, the 55-inch A75L, I believe it starts tomorrow, and it's only for a brief amount of time, which is why I'm going to take a risk at sharing this with you guys. But from March 13th, let me be specific for those that watch it later, only between March 13th, 2025 and March 16th, 2025, 55 A75L will be $999. That's US dollars in the US. So it'll be under $1,000, however technically true that is. It'll be under $1,000, 55-inch A75L for 3 days only. 65-inch, which is probably what you guys are curious about, 65 A75L will be $1,299. These are the lowest, if I'm not mistaken, these are the lowest prices that we have ever had an OLED TV. So if we don't get fired, if I don't get fired for sharing this with you, when we get these sort of, here's some price things that are going to be changing, don't share, we'll share.
Can be a little risky, but if you know somebody who's looking, or if you are looking yourself, that is definitely something to look at. The A75 was a great TV. It's pretty darn close, excuse me, to the even the Bravia 8.
Yes.
It's very close. It's in terms of picture quality, it's the same as the A80L. Yeah. Yep. So it is a beautiful.
Do you remember the difference? Do you remember the difference between the A75 and the A80L?
If I remember right, it was I don't know if it was the chassis was slightly different, but it didn't have the multi-position stand.
Yep, that's one.
And I think the feet are different. I thought there was something with the audio too.
Multi-position stand, and it has acoustic surface audio, and the A80L has acoustic surface audio plus, which is the difference between 2 and 3 actuators. That's it.
Right.
There you go. We nerded out.
Realistically, if you're going to mount the TV, and if you're going to have an audio solution,
save the money, buy the A75L. Yes.
Yeah. So keep that in mind.
All right.
Let's see. Will Tech just shared H competitor top of the line mini LED was just compared to the Bravia 9, and the Bravia 9 won. Better brightness, better color, etc. Just wanted to flex from it. There you go. Will has flexed with information and knowledge. I can't imagine, based on your comments, how much TV information you have up there. It's probably frightening, but that's awesome at the same time. We're going to start to wrap up because I got to make sure I'm out before the bus comes. So just from my own memory here, because I look at the time. Michael Beckerman is back. Let's see. I've heard the entire line of Sony Bravia TVs for 2024 support IP control for home automation over both wired Ethernet and Wi-Fi. Is that the same thing? The case for the ES line of receivers as well. Roman jumps in. Yep, all ES receivers support IP control. I have ES 5000, but I have whole home Google. Wow, I can't talk.
That's okay.
You're doing just fine. Setup.
Just fine.
That's actually one of the reasons why in the custom installation space that we crush it in that space is not only our integration capabilities, but of course the premium equipment and the functionality that we offer with a lot of that it's awesome, I say the least. I know we don't really talk about that much. Maybe that's something we could address at some point.
Yeah,
kind of like the custom install advantages that we have. We could probably even have somebody from that team maybe hop in and have a guess.
That's a great idea. Let's do it.
We'll plan for that. Maybe in the summer or something.
Sure. Perfect time.
I think there's a couple people that wouldn't mind being on. I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. That's a good thought. Okay. Diana Flores. Nice. Perfect for my kid's birthday. I'm referring to A75L. Is it available in 42 or 45 as well? No, it is only the 55 and 65.
Yep.
Available.
Good question. I don't know what the price is on 42 A90K, but 42 inch and 48 inch A90K are available, but I can guarantee you they're not priced as nicely as that A75L.
You're probably right. I haven't looked at it, but you're probably right.
I haven't either. I started to hesitate, but then I'm like, I'm just going to go out there and say it. So yeah.
Let's see. Richard Gray. I just bought a Sony 8. I'm guessing Bravia 8 4K, and I pulled the power supply. It goes click, 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 click. There's 2 in there. It's like they got a short. Anytime you hear, because electronics in general, they're likely to click Powering on, powering off, sometimes changing inputs, especially like with things like receivers. If you hear repeated clicks that are very inconsistent or happening all the time, definitely make sure that you contact support about that as soon as possible. And again, just a reminder for people, this brings me back to like the registration process, because now I'm like thinking to myself, like, man, I've been lucky that I haven't had to call support really on anything, thankfully, despite all the electronics that I have. But having things registered will make it a lot easier to have that information on there. So as I'm learning this as well, you're like, oh, that's going to save me some time. Okay. Cool. That's good. That's good. I think we can wrap up at this point. I think we're in a good place. So just a reminder for everybody, feel free to send us emails. Join us next week where we do our later episode, hopefully with a guest. We'll lock in. Larry's brain is twisting and turning there. But if you have any other questions, feel free to send that in an email. If you're watching this post live, throw in the comments and we'll do our best. There is a question that just came in, but I know your wheels were turning really hard there, Larry. You want to share?
No, I don't. I was actually just trying to figure out a tangent to keep you on longer than you needed to be. That's it. I couldn't come up with nothing.
When it comes to a certain point, if I have to, I will just leave. I already know. I know. Just saying. Let's see. Got a question there that's cool. Hi guys. Why don't we have Dolby Vision in Sony Pictures Core? Larry's thinking, like, do we not?
That's what I'm going to confirm right now.
I haven't watched since I redeemed a couple credits recent.
I'll tell you in a second. I just watched a movie, and for the record, because I watched it in pure stream, it looks so amazing. I'm not sure if I would even know. So hold on, give me a second. Let me go to my library.
Yeah. Larry's going to check into that. Richard, you are welcome. But yeah, definitely get that into support, get that comment going as soon as possible. And again, just anytime you do have issues where you don't have like a very simple fix to it, this probably should go with any product that you have. It's always good to contact support and log the issue. So that way, if companies start to see repeated things, they can start to get that information. But that's kind of why we're here too, to kind of take this information, share it with the teams. So Larry, what you got?
I'm going to get in trouble. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to get in trouble. I am absolutely getting ready to get in trouble.
Okay.
So I don't know the reason why we don't have Dolby Vision. It is not, Dolby Vision is not supported on Sony Pictures Core. I do not know the reason. However, I actually and I'm like, why does this sound familiar to me? Because I did a side-by-side. I'm not going to go so far. I did a side-by-side comparison between, I was getting ready to say the content, but I won't say it. But I did side-by-side of something on Sony Pictures Core utilizing Pure Stream and Sony Pictures Core calibrated mode compared to the same movie on Netflix in Dolby Vision. Now, I want to first say that this is my subjective opinion, right? Which audio and video will always be subjective to the viewer. But I remember thinking, this is why I had this brain blank that it's not Dolby Vision on Sony Pictures Core, because I remember thinking, dude, Sony Pictures Core is killing Netflix. I mean, I shouldn't have said that. I was really impressed with what I saw on Sony Pictures Core, and I was testing it to try to see the differences between Pure Stream and not Pure Stream. But the byproduct of that was not even Dolby Vision, in my subjective opinion, was able to overcome the picture quality performance I was getting out of Sony Pictures Core with Pure Stream watching the same movie. Okay.
So one thing you can check, Rowan says that it should be in the settings, like as like you choose like a default.
I see Atmos, but I don't. Let me go into the settings. Let me do that right now.
We do also have, at least on some of the more current ones, the Sony Pictures Core calibrated mode as well, which you can enable. Which does match. It's the same concept of what Dolby Vision does, but it actually uses Sony Pictures calibration for that settings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my picture settings are only giving me a change for audio quality, where I can choose between DTS:X and Dolby Atmos. Maybe my Sony Pictures Core is broken. Maybe they should give me more credits to figure out how to make it work.
I turn my back to take a look at mine, but
no, do it, please.
All right,
Please.
you can look at the back of my head here.
Yeah, because I need to know if I have a problem.
All right, that's fair. Oop, I just shut
and
off
send,
my other TV.
yeah, because I want to know. Ooh, I didn't know this movie was on here. Can I redeem a credit? Ooh, I can redeem 2 credits and get this. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
There you go. People looking at the back of my head here.
And so, just like we were talking about earlier, while you're looking at that, Derek, there is a relationship between specific TV and a specific app that lets it know what suite of HDR formats and audio formats that TV is capable of. If you have a TV that doesn't support a format, it won't appear anywhere in any option. So I am interested if Derek also sees Dolby Vision as a part of his, then for me, will contact engineering and say, what up? My TV is not giving me the Dolby Vision option. So I'm curious.
I don't see it in my settings either. Okay. I don't want to play something because my screen is on screen. So
you should do
really
it.
Shouldn't do that. If John changes it to just you, I'll check it.
No, that's creepy because I'll just be sitting there watching.
Yeah.
It is blurred. It is blurred at the amount required by legal. Yeah, the appropriate amount by legal standards. Can confirm.
Yeah, I don't see. I only have audio quality, and I can obviously enable pure stream. I don't actually have it on there either. So
that's
an interesting one. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and Daniel asks, so 2024 TVs don't. So what I'll do after we conclude, because I know Derek, you got to go. I'll go check the A95K, which by my calculation was a 2023 model, right? And I will check and see if it's there. The A95K clearly has become my daughter's TV, so I haven't watched a movie on that TV in I don't know how long. So I will take a look at that and see if DV is on that one.
Yeah, I'll have to check it on my TV downstairs as well.
It's in HDMI settings. Where? Okay, hold on. Let me go settings. Where are those settings?
Let me go into.
I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to. Hey, you guys teach me.
Make sure this is muted.
I am now going to every single setting. I don't even. Do I need to turn Pure Stream off to get this setting?
Yeah, Pure Stream is probably overriding for you.
I turned Pure Stream. Pure Stream is disabled right now. Let me go to the same content.
Let's see.
I am still not getting Dolby Vision. I'm getting Dolby Atmos.
Let me see. Yeah, because I was running Sony Pictures Core calibrated on mine.
I don't have. I turned that off and I went just to cinema.
Yeah, I have IMAX enhanced, custom, standard, vivid, and then calibrated mode.
Okay.
Okay. Make sure. Oh, as in that is. Oops.
Okay.
Because if you go to, let me see. Oh, I can't change it from here. I'm going to try to change my video signal.
Yeah. Oof. Wow. Vivid on Bravia 9 just fried my retina. Jeez. Right. It's possible.
I don't think
I'm
so.
digging. I don't think so either, but I'm digging. So this is great. This is what the community does, right? We get together and we try to find out what's happening.
Huh. You know what? Darren, if you don't mind, if you can, if you want to take like a picture or something and send it in an email to us, that'd be cool. But totally up to you, not required. But I really want to know what's happening here ultimately. It's interesting. We will study. We will study.
I almost got up and walked in there, but then you guys would see I have on basketball shorts, and then you'll have a different opinion of me. So,
oh man! All right. Well, let's close up for this one because I got to go any moment now. But thank you all for being here. We do appreciate it. Always helpful for the subscribes and the likes and the shares to show our bosses that we need to keep doing this, as I've said in the past. But I know I see a lot of the names that I love to see repeatedly. Thank you, you guys, for all being here. And thank you to the newbies for taking the chance and checking us out. Yes. We always do like feedback as well. Feel free to send us any comments after the fact or through the email. We would love to hear it. And thanks. Be good to each other. Be well. Be safe. See you next time.
Hopefully we see you guys in a few nights, whenever that is.
I don't even know what day it is that we're doing it. I'll forget Monday until night. The day that we're doing it. And we're like, wait, we go live in 2 hours? What?
Yeah. Let me go shave. No, see you guys Monday night. Cool.
Yep. Cool.
Peace.
Yep. Take care.